Let's go. You know what it is? Geeks Pod number 6. Dialing in with the fellas.
Thirsty.
Let's get it. We got a couple good cards this weekend. Big Bellator card. Whole bunch of names, like a going out sale per se. And then we got a
Gonna
little
be
UFC
huge.
fight night with the Bear Jew taking the main event spot against All In Allen. We got a couple good things cracking. I know we got PFL next week, but let's kind of get right into this. Fellas, of all the action, I'll start with you, Goosey. What's standing out the most? Are we going into Bellator first? Should we dive into UFC?
Dude, I think stay true to it. Let's run UFC first. A lot of sleeper bangers on this card. You look down the odds, decent amount of heavy favorites. I'm not gonna lie, but the UFC is showcasing some serious talent, and I'm very excited for this card. Also, like you mentioned, Bellator Friday night, gonna be a big weekend for combat sports. Shakur Stevenson is even fighting. I think he's boxing Thursday night. So, we're just rolling days together here. Jumping into the UFC card though. Brendan Allen, Paul Craig up top. Two sick dudes. I don't see Paul Craig doing anything to him besides maybe snatching a armbar, but I'm not willing to bet that he hits that Hail Mary. So I'm thinking Brendan Allen looks pretty dominant and gets himself in that middleweight title contention here. What are you guys thinking on that?
Well, you ripped that early parlay. Like,
Yes. Yes, early parlay. I got some value. All right, before the odds change, we're getting it out there. We're getting Brendan Allen plus Peyton Talbot plus Michael Morales. Three pretty big favorites. They're going to get bigger. Right now, you can get them like plus 105.
that's pretty good. Fishman, did you have your eyes on any action coming into the week?
Not too much to be honest. I haven't took a deep dive and done a bunch of research, but not I like what Goose is saying with the it is a sleeper card, not a lot of big names, but some dudes that'll come in there and throw some hands. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to some scraps. Charles Johnson, love the kid, he's super active. But yeah, another dude making his I think it on tap it says unconfirmed rumor, but that fight would be a scrap between Euros Medic and this dude from LFA making his debut, Mike Tebek.
I think it's
Yeah.
But
unconfirmed because Johnny Parsons, wild man, I think he had to pull out though this week. So they're trying to make it work, keep Eros on the card.
Yeah, would love to see Euros. But back to that parlay you said, Peyton Talbot. Dude, that was a standout from Contender Series. That's the kid with the black hole in his chest that just
Mhm.
refused to take a backward step throughout the entirety of that fight. I mean, an absolute Terminator in there. That kid is a beast, and they're just throwing him at not one of the biggest hyped prospects, a guy that they kind of tried to throw some buzz around. So, you can kind of read the cards on that one, what they're trying to do. And then, dude, that main event, let's get into that, bro, because everyone's talking about Bear Jew's going to grab this sub. Brendan Allen's going to come in a little bit too cocky. He's going to try to grapple. He's going to try to prove a little bit too much, and he's going to get stuck. I'm not on that wagon. I know that, it's not really a surprise. The line is kind of slammed on his side, but I think it's for a very good reason. I don't think he's getting taken down in this fight for a second. I think that he is super athletic, and I think he's going to spark a very sus Bear Jew chin. What do you think about a TKO?
that was my play. I was gonna rock with Allen knockout. But now yeah, Paul Craig, tough dude, but stand up wise, he don't got it against Brendan. And on the ground, they're Craig is gonna be on his back. I feel like yeah, it's tough. Like what Goose said earlier, it's gonna be tough for people that want to bet on Craig. It may be tempting with the line, but the dude's just not in great positions during fights. And Brendan Allen's that dude right now. I think he gets it done. Knockout, like I said.
Tell me you can't
Yeah.
see like a sloppy body kick from Paul Craig just getting like thrown up there, like kind of slow motion tech, and then just like a straight right, just putting him right on his butt. Like
Dude, the
that's how
only thing oh, yeah, I was gonna say the only thing throwing me off on Brendan Allen TKO is he has been loving the scoop and score. He's been getting it done on the feet and then snatching up subs recently. Like you look at
Right.
his last few fights, they're ending rear naked choke, rear naked choke, rear naked choke. And these are over guys that really know how to fight. And Christoph Jotko, Andre Muniz, and then even Bruno Silva, he beat him up top. And we just saw he has a good chin to show off and a lot of skills against the Pirate at UFC 294.
Facts. Another guy that I'm seeing here that I'm liking, he's probably an underdog just based on what Jonathan Pierce has been doing because he's got quite the UFC record right now. He's been catching W's. But Joe Anderson Brito, I like to call him the big fake baby because this guy's not 28. Like, what are we talking about? Like, do you see this guy? I mean, pull up his Tapology photo. This guy's 40. I mean, who wrote this guy's birth certificate? Whatever, bro. The guy's dangerous as hell. And Jonathan Pierce's stand-up is very suspect. So a guy like Brito, man, he's just so explosive. Like, I don't see him getting held down against the cage for too many minutes this fight, at least. I know Pierce is pretty good at it, but I like him. I like who else do I like on this card? Really like Jordan Levitt. I really like Jordan Levitt.
Yes.
I know what they're
Yes.
trying to do with the whole Chase Hooper thing and give him a grappler. And honestly, this might be his best chance at a win at this weight class. Like they are really pulling strings. But Jordan Levitt's a strong ass dude, and he is a grappling base. So don't be surprised. That's all I gotta say. Plus money.
Bro, yes, plus 180. And here's the thing, very similar. I feel like not good on the feet, but grappling, Levitt brings much more wrestling. Chase Hooper's a jiu-jitsu guy. I can see him getting stuck on his back here, and Levitt really just riding out control time to a win. Plus 180, definitely worth a little sprinkle on there, a little shot ski, as well as a few props. Lucas Alexander, he is getting a knockout. All right, I would guess decently early. I like Burrito's knockout for sure, like you were mentioning. Guys just got bricks for hands. Christian Leroy Duncan, I think he's going to touch Tallulin up. That fight just got announced. Duncan was fighting Cesar Almeida, needed surgery. They're getting Tallulin in on short notice. I think it's going to be a short night for him. And then Talbot, round 2. I'm telling you, like CEO said, this guy walks forward. Striking is crazy. He doesn't get taken down because he's getting that forward pressure. And I think he's going to start really getting his shots off round 2 on Nick Aguirre after probably a pretty dominant round 1.
Bro, you're saying that he doesn't get taken down? Flashback. He's the kid who hit the freaking gainer on Contender Series. He did
he did a backflip out of fucking
Yeah.
sun. It was mad crazy.
He did a
Athletic as hell.
backflip to get out of a takedown attempt. Dude, I mean, this kid is special at 6-0, and he's super young too. I mean, wow, I actually can't wait to see him in there. I think he's going to be the birth of something crazy.
The odds do show that though. He's like minus 600 at this point.
Yeah,
so
and
it's a pretty
DraftKings
heavy
is
favorite for your
-8.
debut.
Yeah, DraftKings -8. Dude, I mean, he's special. And I think, like I said, he's like 20, young 20. So it's like he's got
25.
so much 25, so much refining to do. Like the kid's got 3 years until he really hits stride. Like, watch out for this kid. Front kick. You got anything you want to throw into this UFC before we bounce to Bellator? I know Michael Morales is scrapping.
No, I think we could bounce it over.
Ooh, yeah. Wait, Michael Morales deserves some recognition here. That's probably fight of the night if we're being honest. Him and Jake Matthews are going to absolutely get after it. And I think Michael Morales wins that war of attrition, possibly late finish, but Jake Matthews has shown that chin. And then one other dog that was not mentioned, I feel like Trey Ogden is very live against Nicholas Mata, because Nicholas Mata, he's got heavy hands, but he hasn't shown a lot. Trey Ogden, very hard to knock out, actually. He's got a slick style. You can overpower him, but I don't see Mata being that guy to really take him to deep waters and test the grappling here. So Ogden plus money, I think that's a live dog as well.
All right, facts. Let's get into Bellator. Bellator 301. We've got Yaroslav Amosov coming out against Jason Jackson for the 170-pound strap. And then in the co-main, we got another strap fight, Sergio Pettis Patchy mix. Holy crap. And then you just keep going down. I mean, this is a banger card. Rafion Stotts, Danny Sabatello, AJ McKee's on here versus Sydney Outlaw. Patricky Pitbull is the opener to the main card. Dude, going down, it's crazy. A couple fights that I really like on this Bellator card. One thing about Bellator is like the lines are always so skewered. Like you don't really see, pick 'em fights. Like it's always one side or the other, and it's a huge underdog wins or something like that. It's kind of crazy. But I do like Cody Law. I know Cody Law's been struggling. A lot of people are sleeping on him. He's probably a massive underdog. I haven't gotten a chance to look at the line, but he's coming out in a fight with a guy who likes to strike a little bit, kind of his ball game, and he's gonna have a couple inches of height. He's off a couple L's. He really, really's been grinding. I like his odds. Moving up, Archie Colgan, 8-0, stellar standout wrestler. He's going to be putting on a show here. He's probably a massive favorite. And then these bigger fights, I mean, you can't go wrong with the big names. Like AJ McKee versus Sydney Outlaw. AJ McKee is a stellar athlete. I like Sabatello in the rematch. I think he's going to have a lot of improvements. Sergio Pettis is going to be an underdog. He's a live dog. I know Patchy Mix is a handful, but that's going to be a barn burner. And then in the main event, I mean, I like Jason Jackson. I don't know why. I think he's not better, but I think his wrestling's up there with Storley, and his hands are way better. So bigger test, bigger stage. Jason Jackson's at that point where he's like his experience, I feel like, is going to really take over, and he's going to show us some crazy stuff. What do you guys got on Bellator?
Yeah, I see what you're saying in the main event. I think Jason Jackson is just like a crazy athlete that is going to make it hard for anyone, especially Yaroslav. He is a very technical. He likes a clean fight. Jaron Jackson is going to hit him with some weird shots. But my eyes are really on the big three. I'm looking forward to seeing Patchy Mix, always super entertaining. Danny Sabatello, the rematch versus Rafion Stotts. The first one was a banger. The second one, almost a guaranteed banger as well. And then AJ McKee's just a dog, and I love seeing him fight. So I am very much excited for that matchup as well. Fish, what you got your eyes on, big dog?
Yeah, so here's my main card picks. I'm gonna go Pitbull, McKee. I'm gonna ride with Sabatello on this one, and I'm gonna ride Patchy, and I'm gonna fade Jason Jackson. I don't think he's gonna lose to O on this night.
Tough
Not a
fight.
bad take. It's not a bad take. This card starts at 5 p.m. ET, and there is so many fights on this card. How many are there? There's 16 bouts. So you can imagine this is going to go into the night, and we're just going to get action all weekend. I mean, this is great. Looking again on second look, Sumuko Inaba, this chick, she's fighting a 7-5 Denise Kielholtz, who is a tough chick, but I mean, this is kind of like they're setting the stage here. I mean, she's a good looking gal. She's got great stand up. I like her. By decision is probably a good pick too. Man, Archie Colgan. I said it before, but I'll say it again. Archie Colgan is a very special type of fighter. I mean, his credentials in wrestling go far. So look for him to get maybe a sub. I think a sub would be a good pick in this one. He's probably gonna have a lot of control time. But from there on, I mean, Bellator looks good. Not too many storylines besides Sabatello and Stotts. That buildup was kind of fire the first time. Haven't seen much the second time. But dude, that's gonna be interesting because Sabatello is gonna need to be more dangerous going into this fight. I mean, a lot of criticism for him just getting a lot of control time. I think he's gonna make the improvements. What do you think about his stand-up going into this? Because as if you're Stotts, you got to think of it like this: like you just fought this guy for 25 minutes and you were never really in danger besides when he was like on your back, but he wasn't even throwing that many attempts. So like Stotts' confidence is probably at a peak entering this fight, knowing that he just needs to touch up a couple things. But if Sabatello does get that striking around, this could get interesting.
Yeah, I think he definitely took some damage in his last fight, and the odds are a little bit closer than you would expect for Stotts getting the better of him their last fight. It's one of those kind of Vegas might know something's up here type things. And then Sabatello, I think that his style, you see Stotts the first time around, he's going to be the trickier, harder to find fighter in there. So you're going to gain more knowledge on Stotts than you would on Sabatello. You already knew he was going to wrestle. I think that Sabatello is going to be able to make more adjustments in this one.
Facts. And then I guess we can look back at last weekend before we sign out of here real quick. We have got 2 new champions. Alex Pereira, the double champ. That's crazy. He knocks out Jiri. After further review, I think Jiri was out. There's like a clip going around where his hands were, clamped around Pereira going for the double leg, and then you kind of see both the hands go limp and just kind of fall flat, and that's where he falls into mount. So not as bad as a stoppage as I thought initially, but Pereira is that guy, and Tom Aspinall is also him. I mean, I was so confident about it. I mean, obviously the small camp is like concerning, but at the end of the day, those are 2 different guys on the feet. I mean, it was so clearly on display. Sergey's such just a walk forward, swing punches kind of guy, and Aspinall is so precise. Like, this guy has pinpoint striking and with so much power. Not to mention, like, upper echelon jiu-jitsu in his back pocket just in case shit doesn't go right. Like, this guy's going to be a problem for a long time at heavyweight. Fishman, let's get to you on this one because you were the Poton guy. You got to be on cloud 9 right now.
No, yeah, I was happy for a good couple hours and into the next day, but nah, man, just happy. It does get sketchy. His styles is just it's sketchy to watch, but I just like how he brings it, dude. He just brings it. His hands are down and he goes for it, bro. And it's like my heart's pounding the whole time. I'm like, damn, bro, like he could get clipped but nah, man. I mean, I could definitely see where people think the stoppage was early, but in Mark Goddard's perspective, I mean, he's seeing that right there. And I mean, he could probably even feel the thumps of like just that landing. And then he just sees the dude go back and he's got to do something. I mean, but he's known to do that, but whatever. Jiri said whatever. He landed in a bad spot, but I'm kind of more impressed, like you said, with Tom and what the future holds for him. That dude is different. He's big as hell. And yeah, I mean, even let's talk about a John Jones fight. It's that's gonna be a huge fight. And on the Ariel podcast, I was listening to him say that fight with Stipe expired that night, and that they're on to new things. It should be on to new things. And I kind of agree. I mean, we have John's hurt. Stipe's kind of just sitting around, I think, looking for a big paycheck. He's not really in there looking to fight contenders and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think?
I think that Aspinall would probably piece up John Jones, to be honest, especially after seeing how his striking looked against Gane, where Aspinall's not a guy that John Jones is going to grab and take to the ground and the fight's going to be over. If he does that, hang it up, big dog. You're the GOAT. No one's ever gonna argue with you. But to my eye, like, Aspinall is kind of a different beast right now. We've never seen him taken down like that. We've never seen him just dominated. In fact, we've only really see him being the one dominating, and he's been tested time and time again. So I was doubting him. I thought Pavlovich was going to put him away. He hit him with the shot. Aspinall took it like a man and gave him some bigger shots back, So that was probably the sickest moment of the night. I thought the main event was sick, especially like just how they were going at it back and forth, back and forth. Pereira hit him with the shot when he needed, and that's his style, bro. He's kind of there to get hit, but like if he's getting hit, you're getting hit.
Yeah.
He's got the stone hand, bro.
Fuck it. If you miss me, I'm gonna clip you, and it's whack. Like, dude, that the hook, like, it didn't land. Like, it didn't even land good. You know what I'm saying? It just I mean, you hit him with the right before, but I mean, it like clipped him, and like it was just he's a mythic left hook.
There's no load up. There's no load.
Yeah, it's the shortest thing ever. It's just like he just like went like this and clipped him, like it swept off the bottom of his chin. I don't know, but no, another thing with the John Jones fight, with Tom, John had to work to get up to this weight. Tom's been there, so he's comfortable in his body. He knows he's fast, and dude, when you're fast and that heavy, John, he was fast at light heavyweight, but you put on that much weight, you're gonna lose some speed if you haven't been there your whole life. You know, Tom is naturally a big guy, so I mean, John probably has to cut a little bit to get to 265, and I mean, Tom is just he's just a giant. I mean, that dude is huge. I would love to see like a face off, just them standing next to each other, get a good read on it. But he's
I don't
Or you
definitely
look at it now too.
Yeah.
I think John Jones with the pec injury, like for what his style is at heavyweight, which is grab, you use the upper body like torque. It's going to be hard to get that back to just the elite level that you would need to hold down a guy like Tom Aspinall and really out grapple him. So, and now, especially after the injury, I think pre torn delt, that fight is definitely more competitive in my eyes. Post torn delt, or lat or pec, whatever it was, I have my doubts.
Yeah, realistically, that fight, I don't see it happening. Let's be real about it, just because, John with the injury and everything, like he's gonna come back, he's gonna get beat the best heavyweight of all time. Now you're the best of all time, like confirmed in two weight classes. Like, it's just, why would you roll the dice and fight a guy like Tom Aspinall? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe in this next year, Tom Aspinall catches fire and he says some stupid shit and everybody's like buzzing and he's selling crazy pay-per-views and stuff. And I know he's a huge guy in the UK, but like, let's be real. Like, is that really, I guess John Jones is in it, so it is big, but like, is that really like a fight to come back to, like, and test all of your legacy, like, for that? Like, just, I say, get on your horse, ride into the sunset, brother. Like, you just had a torn pec, like, you got through that. That's how I see it. I don't see it really happening, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
that's probably more
pass
likely.
the torch rather than get the torch beat from you, you know.
let have the torch turn into a baton.
But nah, yeah, I think yeah, it kind of just sucks because the belt is with him. You know, he gets that special treatment where he's that guy, and they're not gonna take that belt from him. They took it from Jiri, they took it from Jamal. Um, so just a tough, weird situation with what they do next with Tom.
What
Yeah.
do you
Um,
think? What do you think that situation is? Like, does Tom, because he's probably going to fight before John Jones comes back, does he
yeah,
defend the interim belt? Or
probably
Yeah.
like,
No, I think you throw them in there with Gon. I think you go across the pond where they're both big names. You square them off. And then that gives you a good gauge of where John Jones is really at. Because if
or
Tom
the
Aspinall just runs in there and subs Gon, you're gonna be like, okay, okay, John, maybe there's
yeah,
something left here. But if that turns into a war and they go back and forth and maybe he hits Tom a couple times, it's like, all right, you know, there's levels to this shit. You get what I'm saying?
but yeah, in this situation, would Tom be defending the interim belt though? Would
Yeah.
it be the first ever UFC interim title defense? That is fire.
I think I think that's happened. I think that's happened. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Another thing I want to address though before we jump off that, Jiri and dude, Pereira's leg kicks, bro. Like, you're like, we're talking about his style. His style is like, he's there to get hit, right? So he's like, come and hit me, come and hit me. I'm gonna absolutely destroy your leg, right? So I'm gonna freaking take away your ground base, and then as soon as you get close, I'm gonna whack you. Like, this guy's a problem to fight. Both fights with Izzy, he's banging up his leg. Izzy can't move right. This fight, I mean, take what you want. Early stoppage. Oh, Jiri was starting to turn on. Jiri's leg was about to fall off. Like,
yeah. I don't know. His legs got to be made of metal or some shit. Because two or three kicks in, it was damaged,
Yeah,
and it was crazy. But now yeah, I mean Pereira. If someone could grab his ass and just hold him down, they could win. If they could grab his neck or do something, because but I mean the thing is he's only got time to get better. Every time he makes it out of a fight, he's only got more time to get better at the grappling, more time to take down defense. Um, but yeah, it's crazy how you've kind of seen the improvements in his grappling over the past couple fights, but No, he's definitely got it's scary when he goes down. It's like, damn, like I know Jerry's not that dude where he's gonna be trying to rip subs and shit, but it's like, damn, he's got to get up again. He's got to, it's tough when you're
You might have
getting
to
up. You
rip.
need to win around when you're striking.
Yeah, you might have to rip that Blachowicz rematch. You think about it like
Yeah.
that, because everyone, how many people were saying that was a robbery? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but
hey,
you
it's
know
still
what
there.
doesn't make sense to me though is when Jan fought Ankalaev, he was complaining about damage over control, right? He said, "Oh, I did more damage." Now he goes into this fight and says, "No, no, no, I got more control." So which one is it? You know what I'm saying? He was saying, "No, I don't know." So it's just a
Right? Yeah.
little weird. He
No, I
was
see what
kicking
you're
the
saying.
shit out of Ankalaev's leg, and he thinks he got more damage. He won the fight, but in the next one, he thinks control was the factor. But
Yeah, that's interesting that that's like that. But I mean, think about that fight over 5 rounds. I mean, Pereira was starting to get the better of him 2 and end of 3 for sure. So I mean, 5 rounds, maybe Jan doesn't make it out, but just because it was like that, Jan just needs like another win, top contender win at
Yeah.
205. And why wouldn't you run that back? I mean, that's probably his toughest matchup. So that's maybe UFC's like, we already got over you,
Yeah.
buddy. But
And kind of the cardio wise, you always have the asterisks of the Salt Lake City effect, which would be interesting in a rematch for sure. But Jan is definitely taking his damage and he's getting up there in years. I know Poatan is as well, but I feel like their careers are in a little different spots.
yeah, and if you can't get the Izzy rematch for Pereira in his next fight at 205, then you just
Jamal.
gotta wait for Jamal. Yeah.
Yeah. Because how long Jamal did that in the summer, right? I think it was July
Yeah, it's
because it
gotta
was
be
at the
coming up soon.
International Fight Week.
Yeah.
So you get Achilles. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he said he's coming back mid-December, baby, at the Hard Rock.
Forget the
So
Jets, bro.
we'll see.
Jets are
But
trash.
facts, facts.
That's facts.
Jamal
Like,
Hill is not trash though, and I'm very interested in seeing that fight, him versus Poatan.
yeah. No, I think he's got a lot to learn about that matchup with Jiri because I feel like their stances, I mean, obviously they don't fight the same, but I mean, they do have that wide stance. Jamal's very heavy on that lead foot, that boxing style. That is not going to pan well against those Pereira kicks, man. So
Yeah,
look for Jamal to turn into a wrestler because I think Jan Blachowicz kind of set the table for the only way to beat him, right? Because you put him in there with the best striker that we thought was in the UFC, KOs him. Next fight, hurts him badly, gets caught. All these other strikers, Sean Strickland puts him away in the first round. Like, you got to wrestle this guy. There's only one way around this mess.
no way out.
There's no way out. Well, all right. That was a good little recap, good little pod for the fellas. Tune in. We got Bellator and UFC. We got the Geek Sheet coming out. Probably drop a couple of articles this week. Let's go. Big boxing on Thursday. Maybe we'll drop something about that. But we out, man. Thanks for tuning in.
We
Drop a
are
like,
it.
comment, subscribe, Ferda. Let's go.
All that shit.
Yo, yo.